Hello guys, my name is Cynthia and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, thank you for coming, and if you're a returning subscriber, always the OJs, thank you for always coming back. So on my channel I talk about nursing, I talk about lifestyle, I do a bit of vlog, and this whole time presently I've been doing more videos about the new healthcare visa in the UK because I don't want people to miss the opportunity. So I do videos about it for now, and if that's something you feel like that you're interested in, do make sure you subscribe down there on the button so you don't miss any upload. Right, so on today's video I'm going to tell you the main reasons why you're not called for any interview, and the main reason why you've applied for so many jobs and you get the unfortunate messages at the end. So make sure you stick around and I'll tell you why this is happening to you. A lot of people are doing these applications, and that's what I think everyone should know, that when you're doing an application for a job, I just want to go straight to the point. When you're doing an application for a job, you're not just the only one doing the application. You have to stand out for your application. So I think that, so the first thing that happens when people don't make their CV proper, or when people don't construct a good CV, is they're not being called for a job. They end up applying for so many jobs and no one calls them for interviews. So the first thing you should work on is on your CV. I'll be telling you how you can work on your CV and make sure you secure the next interview. The first thing that you should do on your CV is to make sure that your CV has a structure. You don't want to make your CV look like an essay. I've seen some CVs from some people, I've reviewed some that I was able to do, and then I found out that these CVs lack structure, right? You need a structure in your CV. You don't have to make your CV hollow. You don't need to make your CV look like you don't really know what you're doing or you're still thinking about it. So CV should be very, very well structured. The first thing you should make sure your CV has is personal statement. People jump right into the CV without making just a little statement about themselves. This is very, very important, like more than what you think. It's very important to tell the employer who you are. Just a little statement about yourself. I've already made a detailed video about how to make your CV stand out and get employed by your next employer, so make sure you check out that video. I'll be leaving the link as well on the description. But this video is based on the general reasons why you are not being called for interview, and not just about the CV. I'll be telling you more about other things that are hindering you from getting the interview that you've been wanting. So but the first one is just the CV, like I said before, the personal statement, the referee. An employer needs to know if you've got someone that will do a reference for you, if you've got something to reference on. So it's just like doing a study and then not leaving a reference for your study. So you just do, for example, 2,000 words for essay for maybe an assignment in the school, and you didn't reference anything on it. So that's why when you're doing your CV as well, you should write that reference is available for provision, on request. Or you can also write who the reference is, but it's better to write reference is available if they require for it. So the employer will know that, okay, this is genuine, this person has done this already, okay, I can request for reference and it will be done, right? That's the assurance that the employer needs. And also you should make sure that you include your job role in the CV. So because your job role is what tells the employer that you know what you are about to do and you've done it before. I know that so many people are like, I don't need experience. The job says you don't need an experience. But the thing is, if someone that has an experience is coming for a job and someone that doesn't have an experience is coming for the same job, you as an employer, who would you invite for an interview? Think about it. You as an employer, you will obviously get the person that has experience already for it, as compared to the person that, even if the person that doesn't have an experience have this passion and willing to learn and so passionate about the job, as an employer, as people that we are, first of all we'll go for the person that has an experience already to show for it. So having an experience, I would say, is kind of going to boost your CV. So when applying for a job, some jobs you will see something like this is essential and this is desirable. Like there are like two qualities that you might see in some of the job adverts. So when they say essential is just like something that you need to have, a qualification that you need to have. But then desirable means something that is just desired. If it's there, that's fine. When you don't have the essential qualification and the essential properties of a job, you're not gonna get interviewed for it. But then when you have the essential and you don't have the desirable, you might. But when you have the two, you're good to go. Most of the employers will take you if you've got like everything they list on the desirable and everything they list on the essential qualifications, or descriptions of what they want. So to make your CV very, very outstanding, you need to do some background job. You need to make sure that you have a kind of experience. And when I talk about experience, it's not just about hospital experience, because that's what most people don't understand. And experience also includes things that you've done maybe in the community. I remember when I was back home that we do things like volunteer jobs. We go to the communities to like look after people and do their blood pressure, and we call it health outreach, or health outreach. Can't remember the name properly now, but something like that. So when you do volunteer job, NGO job, they are all included as a job. Don't think a job is just when you get paid for it. No. Even when you write that you did a job as a volunteer, I think if I'm an employer, I would be like, okay, this person went to volunteer him or herself for this job. That means they're passionate about it. You see what I mean? So don't overlook all those simple details, because you might think that they're nothing. This is a volunteer job. I just went to the community. No, write it on your CV, because they will also help to make your CV standing out. You just want to utilize every single opportunity on this. Don't leave anything hanging. Put everything on your CV and feed the employer with the information that they want. When I talk about experience, I just wanted to point out something, because I think someone has already asked me before that I think she did a different thing in university, and she's been working on that discipline, and she doesn't have a specific health experience. And she said, can I write that job that I've been doing? The answer is yes and no. I personally think that you can write it, but it's not a must that you have to write it, because this job is for a health something, is towards the health sector. So writing that you've been working in the bank does not really make the employer to look at your application, or maybe to consider your CV or your application. So say that you've been working in the bank, or you've been working as an engineer, or that is just trying to deviate from the whole point of getting a work or a job in the health sector. You can just mention that you have this degree, or maybe mention like one or two sentences of what you've been doing there, but your main specification, your main area, your main place where you have to write all things in details is what you've been doing as a healthcare worker, or what you've thought that you did, or the volunteering work that you've done, and all of that's good stuff. So even though you want to write your your previous experience, don't dwell on them. They're not relevant to the job you're trying to get. So make sure you dwell more on your experience or things you think you've done on the job that you're going for, and not dwell on a different discipline altogether. So the next thing I think that people do that make their CV or the application not to be considered is not including a course or a kind of a certificate that they've already had. So I've got a question like this: oh, I don't have any course, I don't have nothing done under care, and can I apply, or can I get an interview? And the answer is, if you don't have any courses, if you don't have any certificates at all, or any basic certificates, and you're trying to go for a healthcare job, I think it's not going to be easy for you, right? Application is coming from so many people, and remember, any discipline, like anything you studied, you can go for this job. It doesn't matter what you studied in uni. So just imagine the tons of application that people will be that employers will be receiving. So I think you should do some form of courses. So the basic one is the care certificate course that everybody knows about. I'll be leaving a link as well down here. I think the one I'll be leaving a link is about £10 or 47p if you register with them. I will just leave a link. It's not sponsored or anything, but it's just one of the care courses that you can do, and there are so many of them that are free online. I'm still trying to get more of them, but there are so many of them that are free online. You can also check Florence study website, and you can get some of them free. But care certificate course is very, very essential when it comes to this job. This is what people don't know. You need to do at least a basic something, and care certificate course is just the basic thing that every carer should know in the UK. So it constitutes just 15 standards of care that you should know. And then the next thing is, when you're going for a care support work in a community, it is different from when you're going for a care support work in the hospital. So I'll expand on that. What this means is that, as I said before, there are so many courses that you can do online that are free for healthcare workers. So you have to sit down and look for them, or I mean, probably I will still make a video about that, but you have to do some of these courses. So the free ones, you can start with them. When you're applying for a job in the hospital, make sure the courses that you do are the ones that are aligned or are more beneficial if you're working in the hospital. So what I mean is, if you're going for a job, healthcare job in the hospital, you can do courses like maybe manual handling of patients, maybe trying how to prevent infection prevention and control, fire safety, and all of that. Then when you're going for a care work maybe you're applying for a care work job in the community, you already see it on the job description. But when you're applying for a care work in the community, you can do courses that are more relevant to the community, like maybe how to work independently, or how to look after patients that are elderly, or things that are more to that side. So when you're applying for that job, you make your CV channel your CV towards that part that you're applying for, towards that either hospital or care work or care home. You make your CV to lean more towards that part. This will help the employer to make a decision and say, okay, this person knows more about this job, and this person has done some studies about relevance to this job. Let's call him for interview. Let's call her for interview. Your cover letter. So I know some of the jobs don't have this space for cover letter. If a job doesn't have provision for cover letter, you can write this part on the additional information. So you can write about what I'm about to tell you now. So when you're about to write a cover letter, it should have like your address, the address of the employer. But in this context, what you want to dwell on is the main body of your cover letter. It's just an additional information. You want to show the employer that you are the right fit for this job. So on this part of the application is where you write about how you implemented all your skills. So on the CV, you've written, oh, this is your skills, you have this, you have that, this is what you've been doing. But on the cover letter, you have to make sure that you include how you've used those skills, how you've been able to work independently, how you've been able to be a good record keeper, how you've been able to maybe develop a model that your institution used to care for patients with frailty or elderly patients. So this is where you just write your skills, how it was implemented by you. So it has to be a personal thing. I was able to do that, I was able to do this, I was able to, you know. So this is the part you have to write it. If your application doesn't have the space for cover letter, you can just include this information on any additional statement or additional information they ask you of. This is just trying to boost your chances of getting an interview. So the main important thing you should include on your cover letter is to include the things that are specific to the job description. So you have to at least be able to show the employer that you've looked at the job description, you've looked at everything they listed on the job description according to that particular employer. So you see, it's not very easy, it's not advisable to use one particular application or one particular CV to apply for all the jobs in the UK. If you want to work as a healthcare assistant, you should be able to sit down and edit your CV at some point. You can just use Microsoft Word online and just make sure that your CV is being channeled to that particular job you're applying for, right? So look at the job description, make sure you include at least half of the job description from the employer. Make sure you include how you've been able to do that. So if the job description says, oh, we want someone that is a good record keeper, tell them on the cover letter or on the additional info how you've been able to be a very good record keeper, right? Tell them what you've been able to do as a good record keeper. If they say, oh, we want someone that is very proactive, tell them how you've been able to be proactive in your former job. So this is where you go in details to make your CV stand out. This is the part that you have to exercise patience on, and then write things that you've been able to do personally in your former role or your experience or what you've done before that is related to the job description. This is about trying to convince them that you're the right fit for the job. They don't even know who you are, so you need to convince them. You need to show them what you have. So it's kind of like a competition when going for a job interview, especially for something like this that is new and for overseas applicants can apply as well. It's very, very competitive. That's why I tell people you have to really sit down and do your application properly, because the application is the only avenue of you telling the employer that I am the right person for the job. So I hope from this video you were able to learn some of the things that you have to correct on your applications, and at the end of the day you'll be able to get that interview and that job you've been wanting. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to watch this video where I talk more about how to make your CV stand out. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.